Good morning. It is windy, not super cold, but it's very cold when the wind picks up. I'm recording this Monday morning like usual for my weekly morning walks. And yesterday, Sunday, it was super duper windy for like 8 hours. Starting in the late afternoon here in East Tennessee in this region, horrible windstorms crept through here, ripping limbs off trees and stuff. It's a miracle we didn't lose internet or power yesterday. I'm very glad we didn't. But today you can see storm clouds as far as the eye can see. So I definitely think that we have not seen the end of the storms, of the stormy weather. But that's fine with me. I like storms, you guys know that. You know I love the wind and the primal forces of nature and all that. So Merry Christmas. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas Yuletide celebration. I think most of my followers celebrate Christmas. A few of you don't. But happy Christmas season to you guys all the same. I had a good time. I got to see family. I saw, let's see, only one person that I don't usually see. I only saw maybe 11 people in my family cluster this year. Pretty normal, not a lot of people, but not a scant amount either. I went to 3 different houses and visited people all throughout the week. It was good times. I especially had fun hanging out with my aunt, who is really into Fox News and shallow slop politics. She likes to talk to me because I actually understand what she's talking about. And that was fun to talk to this like 73-year-old boomer who is just all up in the culture war with slop level politics and a very elementary understanding of what's going on. That was kind of amusing to me to see someone on our side of things so fired up about meaningless slop. But anyway, it was pretty fun. As far as gifts go, things were given, things were received. The things that I think that I appreciated the most were just small personal family things. Most of the older people in my family, we don't spend much money on each other, but it was nice seeing people get each other meaningful little gifts or keepsakes or trading things back and forth like Christmas ornaments between my aunt and her best friend. It's neat. I guess being connected to folk feels good. I'm glad I'm not alone. So anyway, when it comes to New Year's stuff, I don't really celebrate New Year's, never really have. It's not really my thing. I don't know anybody around here that really cares about New Year's as a holiday, so no real New Year's plans. But of course, I am streaming tonight, and I'll of course be wishing people Happy New Year and all of that, because I won't be back until 2025, of course. Speaking of 2025, that's what I'm going to talk about for the rest of this video. What does 2025 entail for Yizz as a public figure, and what are my New Year's resolutions? I plan on streaming with Newsfist on Thursdays still. I enjoy his company, I enjoy the things that we cover, and I think he and I have a good back and forth chemistry for being co-hosts together. I plan to keep doing Discordant Dragons, but I would like it to grow. It has not grown in like 2 years, 2.5 years. I want it to, but I might have to face the music that maybe that's just not a very popular format. Maybe because I gave it such heavy D&D fluff, people think it's a Dungeons & Dragons stream, and so they don't watch it. I don't know if I need to thoroughly rebrand or what, but it seems like after 2.5, almost 3 years now, no, actually more than 3 years now of doing this, a little over 3 years of doing Discordant Dragons, I don't really have many more viewers than when I started. I crest a little over 100 live viewers, and if I'm lucky, an episode across all, well, both platforms, because I don't leave it up on YouTube, might get 500 watches. That's not a lot. After 3 years, I had hoped to be at triple or quadruple these numbers, and it's just not happening. So I'm going to speak to Chris about this and see if there's some way that maybe we can, I don't know, boost growth or something, or rebrand or something. Because if I am going to keep doing this for a living, I need to get bigger and make more money, or it's just not worth it. And I know it sucks to say that, but this is all I do now. This is basically, like, culture war stuff is my resume now. It's basically all I've done for 10 years. So I'm kind of in this line of work now, whether I like it or not. So I need to make it work for me, and I would like to make more money. I need it. So my goal this year with my channel is to grow Discordant Dragons, see if I can at least double the numbers that it gets by the end of the year. I know that sounds like a tall order, but maybe there's a way to do that. I don't know, but I'll find out. And I don't just want to cheat and like pay somebody to fake boost it with bots and numbers and social media attacks and things. I hate that shit. I don't want to just pay someone to fake boost my numbers, because it's not real. Especially when you're not even monetized on YouTube anyway. That's just wasting money. So there's not going to be an easy way to do this. So we'll see what happens. For New Year's resolutions, I am going to share 2 content creators material in my Discordant Dragons treasure trove. One of those is old school weird internet comedian artist Brad Neely. I will be sharing his works in the treasure trove on my Monday night streams. And I also plan to share something new, a new artist, a guy who uses AI voices and AI 3D model video editing to make hilarious little cartoons about far future. You'll see. I'm not going to spoil what the channel is. I'll wait till the next episode of Discordant Dragons when I share one. But those are going to be the 2 content creators that I feature this year, because neither one of them has an immense library, but they have enough stuff to where I can share it most of the year on my streams. So that's a New Year's resolution for that. A more serious New Year's resolution is me being healthier and stepping away from caring about everything. I know that might sound weird, but I have an obsessive mind, like I've talked about many times on this channel. I have to find a way to be able to put all this down and still have something to live for, something to talk about. And I need to invest in family and loved ones around here and make a life around that. And there's a car coming, but it's rather quiet, so I don't think I'm going to edit this out. We will just keep talking as I turn down the road to Sleepy Hollow here, walking past the new farm. And actually the wind died down. I don't even need this hood anymore. I can take this off. I don't even need that. Whew. I've been out for a while. It was a lot windier earlier. Anyway, more seriously, like I was saying, I need to be healthier. I need to assuage my obsessive mind of thinking that there is no future unless I do everything possible with every waking minute of my life to think about and care about this war. My mind is obsessive, and I can't put this stuff down. It has already changed me to the point of almost destroying my capability of having anything normal. That's not healthy, and I should not have let myself get to that point. But that's the way that the red pill journey goes sometimes. And I need to be healthier. And so I've been talking to my husband about this. I've been talking to my trusted co-host Chris about this. I talked to little Ben, my 3 of 12, my Monday night co-host, about this. I'm doing my best to try to find things to occupy my mind on a local, personal level. But everything around here is just so boring. And nobody wants to do anything I find interesting except my husband sometimes. And so I'm doing my best to talk to him more about the weird nerd stuff that he likes, like D&D and action RPGs, and he loves telling me. He likes professional wrestling lore. He listens to Corny's podcast, and he still listens to that because we've both always thought that professional wrestling is just a hoot, especially learning about how ridiculous personalities are. So we've been talking about that a lot, and he's sharing more and more of the ridiculous wrestling lore, especially the AEW shit that he finds out about. So I'm trying to get myself interested in things that are not just culture war related, so I can maybe feel free of that sometimes when I'm not working. Like I've expressed before on this channel, especially these little morning walks here, my problem is not the amount of work I do on camera. What makes me suffer is mind. I suffer with obsession and not being able to put this stuff down to think about or do anything else. And I know that we joke and say autism a lot online, but I don't think I'm actually autistic. I'm ADHD and I don't take my meds. So I have a very hyperactive mind that constantly wants to be chewing on something and working on something. And before I discovered racial consciousness and culture war and the lies of modernity and the lies about history and just how rotten and evil all the NWO stuff is and all that. And there's a loud barking dog that way, so let's just pace back and forth here. Before I discovered all of that stuff, my mind was always alive with writing stories and creating worlds and classes and dragons and things for fantasy fiction, whether it be Dungeons and Dragons or Vampire the Masquerade or any of the other interesting role-playing settings I've loved since the 80s and 90s. Battletech's another one that I've obsessed about before. My mind used to be eaten up with that. But like I've lamented before in previous videos, that's basically dead in me now. My mind, it's like my mind grew up and said, oh, you know all of that wonderful, interesting drama and political back and forth and world building that's all make-believe? Well, guess what? You've discovered that all of that shit and worse is real. It's all around you. It's in your government. It's in your country. It's in your world, all over the place. And so my brain just sort of dropped everything that I've cared about for 30 years, just dropped it like a hot rock and was like, oh, yeah, that's all make-believe. And reality is much more complicated and dangerous and more interesting than I ever considered. And so over the last 10 years, my brain just sort of chews on culture war stuff and pondering propaganda campaigns and what were we lied to about, and well, what about this that I remember from school was a lie, and who decided to put it in that book, and how has it changed the way I think and feel about A, B, C, D, and E. That is what my brain obsesses about now. And it's miserable. It's miserable. And I've been doing my best to train myself to move away from being like that. So, I'm making myself look at D&D books again. Look at Battletech technical readouts again. I'm making myself listen to stupid podcasts and shit with my husband again. About, no, I shouldn't say stupid. He plays, we don't listen to the live stream, but he plays me clips from Corny's podcast. And that's funny and entertaining, especially the AEW stuff. But my point is, my New Year's resolution is to make a healthier me. Is to find a way to do this for a living because I like it, without having my mind obsess about all of just the darkest, hopeless shit that I can't physically ever do anything about. I want to make my personal life happy again. I want to see my husband smile when I talk to him about stuff he's interested in. Because I haven't really cared about anything he's been interested in like 8 years. And he knows that, and it hurts. Because he's watched me become this culture war obsessed, disturbed, angry basement dweller, basically. And he wishes that I wouldn't have. He wishes that he could have back who I was 10 or 15 years ago. I wish that too, honestly. My life isn't better for all this. Have I done good? Yeah, I guess. Have I helped things? Yeah, probably a little bit. But if it wasn't me, it would have been somebody else. But I am what I am, and I took the path that I did. For good and ill. And the ill part of that has really been hurting me personally lately. So, that's what I'm doing this year. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to see if I can grow my main flagship stream, Discordant Dragons. I'm going to talk to Chris about how we can better grow, make money, monetize. We were talking to the WBS apparel guys at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, about making merchandise. But then somebody left their company and they had to rearrange some things. And they said, let's put this on hold until after we get resettled. And then Chris got sick for like a month. and then we just never talk to him again. So hopefully this year, Chris and I will at least have some DD and some Empire of Lies merchandise for you guys. Hopefully. We'll see. And that's another thing that will be on my resolution list for work this year. All right. Well, I've talked enough. Pray for me that I can find some way to have joy and peace in my personal life again. I'm working on it, guys. I don't want to just fall apart and just be a miserable wreck that does nothing but cover culture war shit. I don't want to be that person, but I'm dangerously close to being that person, and I need to stop. I need to find a way to have a life that I can live with people around me and engage with the people around me, because I've been pushing them for 10 years, and if they haven't changed, they aren't going to. I have to make my peace with that and make a life with them, because it's either that or leave everyone that I know and love and just cut ties in my mid-40s and start over. And I just think that sounds like suicide. I'm not doing that. So I have who I have. I've done what I've done. I live where I live. And for better or for worse, and like the marriage vows, in sickness and in health, I'm connected to these people for good and ill. So I have to just deal with that. And so I will. And I want you guys to support me and pray for me. I want to be a healthier, happier me. And I still want to cover the content that I do, because I think it's important. And I enjoy having conversations about culture war stuff from a more erudite, peaceful, wise position. I like that. It feels good. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. Anyway, let's have a look at these beautiful clouds, and then I will depart. I love the beautiful Appalachian Shire I live in. It's so gorgeous. Beautiful, stormy, cloudy Monday. All right. I love you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful 2025. And I will see you next week, meaning next year. God bless.